Hello everyone, I'm Sayojita. Today I'm going to take you all on a journey from this, which is packets of milk, to this, which is a bottle of ghee. And along the way, we're going to produce a couple of byproducts, homemade butter and buttermilk. This journey will take us through multiple stages: boiling the milk, extracting the cream, making butter or buttermilk, and finally making ghee. At every stage, I have some techniques and tips to give you. The process is very simple, and though it may take a few days, you can hop on and hop off at any time of your choice. I'm going to start by boiling the milk.
But before that, a couple of process notes. The first step is to boil the milk. We get it in packets like this. It's not homogenized and needs to be boiled before use. If you only have homogenized milk, your journey will start from step 3, which is prepping the cream. In this case, you'll have to buy the cream. Make sure that the pot you use is of higher capacity than the amount of milk you have. This will prevent the milk from boiling over. For instance, I am using 1 liter of milk and my pot has a capacity of 1.5 liters. Wet the pot liberally with water to ensure that not much sticks to the bottom. Doing this will prevent the milk from burning and makes for much easier cleaning, as you will see later. Set it to boil on a low flame. You can see how low my flame is. It will take longer for the milk to boil. However, the low flame will ensure that it will not boil over. Just keep it on the back burner literally and go about your other business in the kitchen. You can boil milk on a higher flame if you're in a hurry. It will take much less time, but you will need to watch it like a hawk. If you get distracted at the most crucial moment, more often than not, it will boil over. Milk goes from almost boiled to spilled in a matter of seconds. I'm going to show you the various stages of the milk as it reaches boiling point. Right here, you can already see a thin film of cream building up on the surface. Bubbles are starting to form now. It's about to come up. And it's almost done. At this point, if you're standing right there and watching it, you can increase the heat. As soon as it rises, you must turn off the gas. If you have an electric stove, just keep it on low or medium low the whole time and be patient. My milk is at boiling point now. I'm not turning off the gas just yet. I want to demonstrate that if the flame is really low, as mine is, and your pot has enough room for the milk to rise, as mine does, it will never boil over. Now I'm going to turn off the flame. You can see the milk deflate almost immediately. Let it cool to room temperature without a lid. Then cover it and refrigerate overnight. This way you can extract the most cream from it. What you're seeing on the top here is the layer of cream floating on the milk. But some cream is still mixed into the hot milk. We'll get it out tomorrow. It's the next day and the milk is out of the refrigerator. There is a much thicker layer of cream on the top now. Cream solidifies in the cold milk and rises to the surface. It can be easily skimmed off the surface with a spoon or spatula now. I'm going to add it to my cream dabba, straining out all the milk from it. If any milk remains, the extracted cream may spoil even in the refrigerator. As you can see, 1 liter of whole milk yields just about 3 tablespoons of cream. So, in order to get enough cream to make butter, we have to do this cream extraction process for a few days. This is the best way to store the cream and ensure that it doesn't spoil. Add some yogurt to it, mix it in, and then just put it in the refrigerator. There are other ways of storing cream. You can freeze the extracted cream until you have enough. I just prefer to refrigerate it. When you have collected enough cream to make butter, at least about a cup or 2, you can move on to step 3. Now to process my milk. I do not like traces of cream in my milk, so I'm going to strain this milk into a jug. I use it for tea, coffee, and also to make yogurt. That will be a video for another day. Do let me know down below if you would like to see that one. And here's the empty milk pot. As you can see, hardly anything is stuck to it, and therefore it will be very easy to clean. And the milk will never burn. All because we coated it with water in the beginning. Prepping the cream. You have reached this step with cream stored in the refrigerator as I have, or frozen cream which you should have thawed, or with store-bought fresh cream. I like to allow my cream to turn sour a bit. Add yogurt if you have not already done so, and keep it out at room temperature. This will cause it to ferment and turn a bit sour. Depending on the room temperature, it will take a day or sometimes two to acidify. You will know if it's ready by the smell and the look. If you want sweet cream butter, you can churn this cream without any further processing. Step 4. Making butter. It's been a couple of days and my cream is ready. It looks exactly what it sounds like, clotted cream. And this is how it looks after you stir it. Almost turned into butter. Now we have to churn it to make butter and buttermilk. I think butter and ghee made from this sour cream tastes better. I have about 1.5 cups of clotted cream. By the way, you can also make ghee directly by cooking this cream. However, in my experience, you get less ghee that way. And I also like to get the homemade butter and buttermilk as byproducts. So here we are. I'm going to churn this cold cream in the blender with water. I'm using my small blender with the see-through jar. So I will have to do this in 2 batches. Cold water works best. It will allow the butter to solidify and separate. About 1 cup of water for 3/4 cup of cream is fine. You may need to add more as you go along. Okay, that's done I think. You can see bits of butter on the sides of the jar. Let's open it and check. There it is, just fine. The butter has separated and is floating on the surface. Here you can clearly see the butter floating now. I'm going to make the second batch the same way. And that's all of it. Occasionally, you will have a smoothie rather than butter separated from the buttermilk as we do here. This usually happens if you have not added enough water relative to the amount of cream, or if your water was not cold enough. Add more cold water and reprocess it. Now I'm going to extract the butter. Coax it into a ball like so. It's floating on the top, so it's quite easy. If you do not like to put your hands in, you can just use a strainer to strain it out. I like to leave the remaining bits of butter in the buttermilk. You can strain them out if you prefer smooth buttermilk. If you want to save some butter, you can keep it aside now. One thing you must note is that this butter has traces of buttermilk and milk solids. These must be washed off with cold water, otherwise the butter will not keep for long. I'm rinsing this ball of butter in cold water, literally. Washed butter will stay fresh in the refrigerator for a week or 2, but it does have a shelf life and will get rancid eventually, much sooner than table butter. The water will be quite milky initially. You can just add it to the buttermilk if you want to thin it down. Keep rinsing the butter until the water runs clear. I'm using all of my butter for ghee, so it doesn't need to be washed as thoroughly. The butter is ready. Make a ball and store it in the refrigerator. Fresh homemade butter tastes wonderful on toast or with idli. And here's the buttermilk, a cool healthy drink in hot summers. Add a little salt, maybe a little ginger, and you're all set.
I've just taken out the butter from the fridge and I'm going to make ghee shortly. I hope you're enjoying this trip we are on. If so, do hit the like button and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Okay, ghee it is.
Keep a saucepan on medium heat. My butter is cold, so it will take a little bit longer to clarify than if it was at room temperature. I'm adding the whole ball of butter. The heat is on medium right now. And I'm setting a timer just as a reference. Two and a half minutes later, the cold butter is still melting. Lower the heat when most of the butter is melted. This is an important step. If you continue to make the ghee on high heat, sooner or later you will end up with burnt ghee. Much like caramel, ghee can go from well done to burnt in a jiffy. If you must speed up the process, start on high heat initially until the butter clarifies somewhat. Monitor it closely during that time. Then lower the heat completely. By the way, you can use the same procedure to make ghee from store-bought butter. You will find that unsalted table butter will have fewer milk solids than whipped butter, homemade or store-bought. As the butter is clarifying, it bubbles vigorously and rises up. It can spill over, so make sure you use a pot with plenty of extra space, as mine does. A stainless steel ladle in the pot will also prevent the clarified butter from spilling over. The butter is boiling furiously now, and you can see the milk solids are settling at the bottom of the pan. Eight and a half minutes later, they are beginning to caramelize. Now you have to be careful and continue on low heat. The butter has clarified, but for the best flavor, it needs to caramelize a bit more. Keep in mind that if you're using a tri-ply stainless steel pot or one with a sandwiched aluminum base, it will retain heat for a long time after you turn it off. In this case, you must remember to turn off the heat about 30 to 60 seconds before the ghee is done. There, it's ready. I've turned off the gas. It took all of 11 patient minutes to make this ghee. Mind you, it was a small quantity. 1.5 cups of cream have yielded about a cup of butter and a little over 3/4 cup of melted ghee. It will contract on solidifying. In this case, because of the small quantity, we don't have too many residual milk solids. Scrape them out. Caramelized solids are delicious. There's still some ghee stuck to the pot. To clean it, boil some water in it. All the stuck-on solids can be removed with a soft brush. Any residual ghee will be mixed with the water, which you can then use in dals or rice. I've strained out the ghee and will bottle it when it's a bit cooler. It is brownish yellow in color when in a liquid state and will be yellowish when solid. Cow's milk is yellow and so is the ghee. If you started with buffalo milk, your ghee will be white. Burnt ghee will be a deep brown when in the liquid state and will look greyish when solid. Here is a comparison of the same bottle of ghee in molten state and in solid state. You can see that the yellowish brown caramelized liquid has turned yellow when solidified. And here are 2 bottles of solid ghee. You guessed it, the one on the left is properly made ghee and the one on the right is slightly overdone. It's not burnt, mind you. It will have a smoky, slightly bitter flavor. Burnt ghee will be darker still and is quite inedible, I think. Well, that's it then. Our journey has come to an end.
I hope you enjoyed going on this journey with me. Let me know in the comment section below if you would like to see more such videos, like making yogurt or paneer. I'm leaving you with this playlist on Indian breads and rotis that I think you will like. I'll see you again next week. Thank you for watching.